Manly men. Welcome back to Birth of a Degenerate. This is the show where I'm sorry, I was nasally. This is the show.
Men teach you how to gamble.
This is the show where two men teaches half men how to gamble. I'm here with my wonderful co-hosts Billy and Morgan, and I am Jay Philly the Kid. Look up Twitch, follow, subscribe, love ya. How are we doing tonight, boys?
I was doing great until I heard that shit intro.
I didn't think it was ever gonna end. I thought I talked a lot, but that
It
just
was so funny. It was so funny. You know, I should turn off my TV so I don't get back. I gotta sneeze.
Just so everybody knows, you know, Jared's over there watching The Notebook. He's so deep in love.
Stop! The watch is on. Whatever. Go on.
Anyway, Morgan, how you doing? It's been a while since we talked to you. You doing well?
It's been a bit. Yeah, we're fresh off of our title game and everything. Just wanna, because this is a nice bet the diagonal program here. Shout out to Jared who won the betting the diagonal bracket. We have a nice little with the Masters coming around. A little golf clap. Congratulations. You did good. Jared. Special shout out to myself for representing the betting the diagonal boys, coming in the highest place, coming in fourth place. Not first, but definitely not last. Shout out to Billy for not coming in last at the three betting the diagonal boys. Well, that third party will remain nameless. But boys, I'm doing great. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do after the Masters right now because there's no more college basketball, but I'm loving life. Can't wait to start gambling again. What we got? What are we learning today?
We're talking DFS, but I'm sad that there's no more college basketball. Just wanted to say that. Very sad.
It's a sad day.
I am not.
It's like a funeral.
Yeah, it's more like a celebration.
That's because you have more time to text your girlfriend now.
Oh boy, you walked into that one, Jay. Let's go over what we went over last week. Jared, you remember what we talked about last week at all? Or 2 weeks ago, I should say. It was 2 weeks ago.
We talked about DFS. It's a daily sports betting. It's basically for that day. You know, you make a lineup and you hope you win. There's different ways to do it. There's different tournaments to do it. Yeah.
That's about right. We kind of went over what DFS was, what are the benefits, different ways to play, tournaments, cash games, head-to-heads, things like that. Today, we're going to get into what to look for and some strategies. So, first off, Jared, my first question, you're going to hop right in, is going to be, what games do you think you should be looking at? It's because, like we said, it's a fantasy sport challenge. So, what kind of games are you trying to look at? We kind of touched upon it last week a little bit. I want to see if you remember.
You mean like sports, or
no, like the specific games like during the week that you would aim to like have players in?
You look for casual event games.
Oh, not even close.
No, man.
I was gonna say you're looking for the games that have the highest total. So, like, say, because we were using football as like the easiest reference point. So you would look for a game whose over under is the highest. Why do you think you do that?
Because you get more points and more buyout. I mean, more payout.
More scoring in a real game results into more fantasy points, correct?
Yes.
So more fantasy points is good or bad for your lineup?
bad.
Very good. Very, very
Jeez.
good.
That was scary.
Boys and girls, real quick sidebar. This is what happens when you take a week off. Jared forgets everything, doesn't even know what fantasy football is.
I just thought to
It's gonna
myself
be
for a
long
second,
year.
I can't believe this piece of shit beat me in the finals in fantasy football.
No,
He can't figure out the answer to that question.
that was a gimme. He was struggling. I thought I could throw him a softball. But here we go.
His mind is on different matters of the heart.
Jared, can we focus up here?
Wow.
This is a complicated episode.
I'm getting yeah.
Get a little sassy.
Oh boy. So what we try to look for is games that have the most points scored. Now, there's a couple different things that I look for. There's a couple different strategies I use for different kinds of positions. We're going to go through them all. But first, I want to talk about finding the value. When I look for value, I look for 2.5 to 3 times value. So, say a player costs $5,000 in for your lineup. His salary is $5,000. Ideally, you want that player to get 12.5 to 15 fantasy points minimum to reach his price value. So, if you pay $5,000 for one player and he gets you 5 points, it's a loss. It's not a good pick because it's a terrible choice. You wasted your money, you wasted your time, and you're begging for your studs to do better. Usually, the cheaper the player and the better they produce during the week, the higher chance you have to win money. The higher chance you have to score more, which gives like say somebody who's $5,000, like a middle of the pack guy, where you're gonna have a few absolute studs, the top tier running back, maybe Patrick Mahomes. You're gonna have real studs that just put your lineup over the top. So you're always looking to find at least 2.5 to 3 times. Write that number down; it'll come in handy. Even like regular fantasy football, it'll come in handy. It's like a sleeper, essentially. You're looking for a sleeper throughout the week, but it's to put a number on it. There you go. Am I boring you already?
No, I'm right here.
Said, the next thing that most people use is called a stack. Now, I'm gonna look for a wild guess from you. Try to figure out what a stack is, Jared.
What a stack is?
Yes.
You know what's really crazy? I have stack written down in my notes, and there's nothing there.
Well, at least you have it written down because it's important. Take a wild guess.
Can I answer the question?
If he doesn't give me one, let him give one guess.
Stack. All right. You're getting.
Nope. Morgan, what is it?
That's if I decide to play Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams together.
Similar.
Just about to say that.
You would need another person. A stack is typically 3 people.
All right, and Robert Tonyan.
Yes, exactly. That's where you would go because he doesn't throw it at anybody else. A better comparison would be like one I used before Tua came in was Fitzpatrick, Devontae Parker, and Preston Williams. It was winning me money every week. Loved it, and even then, I'd even just take one of them out and then put in their running back who was also catching passes. Mix it up because, like I said, you want the highest scoring team. You want the most players from the highest scoring team, and they were putting up crazy numbers. So the reason why you do that, Jared, is similar like in your fantasy league. Say you have Aaron Rodgers and you got Devontae Adams. Aaron Rodgers throws a touchdown. 70% of the time it's going to Devontae Adams, right?
Mm-hmm.
you're getting double the fantasy points. You're getting the yards. You're getting the touchdown. So you're moving up. You're getting more points more rapidly, and it's just a wonderful thing. It's the most basic strategy you can do.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just the word that gets people on how they confuse it, you know. But
No, you're just stacking players.
yeah, you're stacking your players. I have one more thing that we'll get into more next week, but there's two phrases that you'll see a lot. You see me write about it a lot when I write for FFD. It's contrarian play and a chalk play. Do you know what the word?
No,
you don't know what the word contrarian means.
Let's not. Let's not. I don't know why you asked that question. That's
I thought because you were a librarian once, you might know big words, but that's not.
Yeah, I wasn't a librarian,
Morgan,
but no.
can you fill them in on what a chalk play is first?
The part of I'm sorry, I got distracted completely.
Oh boy.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't do DFS too much, so I got nothing for you.
I'm teaching you both today, huh?
Yeah, in a sense, yeah. When I
There's
said a DFS
two
lineup,
infants.
my DFS is much different. I just wing it. So I'm
one and two half men today, huh? Unbelievable. So a chalk play is somebody who is going to be owned by most people. It's like the play of the week. So like say Keenan Allen is going against the worst corner. He's guaranteed to get 30 fantasy points. He's going to be in everybody's lineup.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of playing him and paying for that price, you might want to go contrarian, which is against everybody else, and take Devontae Adams or take, I don't know, anybody else. You know what I mean?
Oh,
you're just
so
doing
quite the contrary. Ha!
contrarian.
Ha! Contrarian.
Yes.
Got you.
You're going against the public, which is also a gambling rule.
Okay.
You know? But in this phrase, it sometimes can burn you because you're going to be missing out on all those points. I use that more for quarterbacks. So if I think that, let's say, the Bills are playing the Chiefs, I'm gonna go. If everybody is gonna start taking Patrick Mahomes,
you're gonna go contrarian and take Josh Allen.
But
I'll have, since that's most likely gonna be the highest scoring game, I'm gonna have receivers from both teams in my lineup. So even when Patrick Mahomes throws a touchdown to Travis Kelce or to Tyreek Hill, I'm still getting the points for that. So I'm not getting both the points, but I'm getting some of the points.
Got you.
Now, I want to break down where to find value in each position football. Obviously, I start at running back always. You can't make a good fantasy team without a stud running back. You know that. Everybody knows that. If you don't know that,
yeah, learned that the hard way 3 straight years.
Zero running back never works.
It's one of these days. I'm telling you, it'll work.
If any year, it would have been this year, and it just, you have to be a draft wizard for season long.
I went 1-12 this year, so it didn't work this year for me.
It didn't work for the kid tried doing our home league either. He did terrible as well. This is gonna be like what I'm looking for in each position, and where I can find the value that best fits certain positions. So obviously, starting off with running back, the first thing you look for is who they're playing. How bad is that defense against the run? But more specifically, I look towards red zone defense against the run. More opportunities to score a touchdown. Touchdowns allowed. I used to look at yards per carry a lot, but then I realized, say one team plays Derrick Henry and Christian McCaffrey back-to-back weeks, their yards per carry allowed is just going to be through the roof, and it's football's a small sample size throughout the season, so so you give Christian McCaffrey the ball, he's going to get you 9 yards the second he touches the ball. So that stat to me kind of got skewed a little bit, so I kind of stay away. If you're looking at two running backs that are kind of similar price and everything, I tend to take the one that's got the better defense, because the defense will keep the offense on the field longer, run the clock out, more touches for the running back, control the pace of the play, things like that. Simple things that not everybody thinks of. And this one is for if you play DraftKings, which is like we talked about a couple weeks ago, is a full point PPR. You're looking for running backs that catch the ball, and when you look for that, yak, yards after reception, after the catch, is very, very important. It's different than say, Derrick Henry catches the ball, gets 1 yard, where Christian McCaffrey catches the ball, gets 9 yards. There's a big difference there. And on the defensive side, receptions allowed. So, there's a special stat for I have a website. I'm not going to divulge it because it's a little private for me. To keep that one on the DL. Can't give all my information away. Sorry, girls. But every week that I write, I give the stats out anyway. It breaks down, because most sites just break down how many receptions a running back had that day, but it doesn't break down the whole season. So you're gonna want to look at how many passes to the running back they allow and how many yards, which is astronomical. When you start looking at that, your running back game will go up, and you can find better value actually. That's why I early on, Jared was in my fantasy league, I paid an arm and a leg for Antonio Gibson, and it worked out well because he gets the ball, he passes the ball. They play defenses that allow passes to the running back. I knew that. It brought me very far. For wide receivers, it's more simple. You're focused on yards per catch. How far they run. Catch rate versus certain cornerbacks. So when the defender's guarding any receiver, how well do they play defense? Really, are they Darrelle Revis, or are they Swiss cheese? It's more simplified. How many targets per game are they getting? All that. The wide receivers are more offensive based than the running backs. The running backs rely heavily on the opposing defense's statistics. For wide receivers, I rely on their own statistics, because it's more about them, whether they can catch the ball as opposed to the defense. Excuse me. For tight end, it's pretty simple. Unless you're planning on paying up, which is a ridiculous thing most of the time, for either Travis Kelce or George Kittle, or this year Tanyan, for whatever reason he was relevant. Everybody else, it's just really, you're looking at matchups, kind of say 2 years ago was the worst team against tight ends was
that the Cardinals year? Yeah, I remember that year. I streamed tight ends all season.
If you listen to us on 2 years ago, FFD, Vance Joseph was our mascot. It was too easy. I banged it. If you go back 2 years, go onto pickfix.com right now and look at my articles from 2 years ago. Every single week that my tight end to play for DFS was whoever the Cardinals were playing. And every single year it's like that. Last year it was the Seahawks. Because, fun fact, Bobby Wagner gives up the most yards after catch in history of football.
Super overrated.
He's pound for pound the worst pass coverage linebacker of all time. But he's a household name, and everybody thinks he's great because he's a good run defender, but he can't guard at tight end. So, like I said, unless you're paying for Kelce or Kittle, you look at the matchup. whoever the worst team against tight ends is, that's who you play. Usually tight ends are cheap. You know, I would spend more than $4,000, $4,500 on the tight end when I can just spend it elsewhere. You know, because tight ends are, you know how it is when you play fantasy football. You're happy if they get 8 points.
It's so true.
Ear to ear smiles if they get 8 points.
That's so true. I get happy when they get 5. I'm like, oh,
see,
you.
Defense, whoever's the cheapest. So whoever the cheapest is, unless they're playing the Jets or whoever the worst team is that year. And even then, you might not be able to afford them. You don't want to pay the price of like a tight end or a low-level wide receiver for a defense. I don't ever pick a defense most of the time unless it's too easy. What I did it in almost the order that I choose my lineups in, guys. I go through my running backs, pick who I want. I go through my wide receivers, I pick who I want. I go to my tight end. I either go from wide receiver to tight end or to quarterback, which is quarterback is always weird to me. I don't feel like because it's the easiest position to get points from. You know, very rarely you're going to get single-digit points from your quarterback. The value really relies on what you're going to stack, what players you're going to put on top of other players, shower just like this, like a sandwich, like.
He'll always remember it now.
Stack.
He's writing that in his notes.
Sandwich. We talked about. No, you need a second. Stack sandwich, double stack.
The Wendy's double stack.
That's when you get 2 wide receivers in there. It's a double stack.
Okay.
For quarterbacks, we kind of talked about it a little bit last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever the last recording was.
Mm-hmm.
There's no need to pay top price for Lamar Jackson when he won't get you the passing yards or the passing touchdowns, just to get the chance to get the extra points on the ground. So, like, obviously, rushing yards counts more. Every 10 rushing yards is a point compared to passing yards.
But you want you want a quarterback who's going to throw.
Yes. So, like, yeah, you might get 100 rushing yards from him, but you also might get 100 passing yards, which is 4 fantasy points. So, unless it's scoring 4 touchdowns that game on the ground, you're getting 14 points. It's not good enough for me. Personally, I like right there, going back to where the value is. Last year, Lamar Jackson, most of the time, was between 9,000 and 9,500. So to hit his value, what you're supposed to pay for him, he would need to score 27 to 29 points every week for him, and it's just not possible. So why? Like, I would rather have let's see, I'd rather have Russ in there. I'd rather pay up for Russ. I'd rather pay up for Josh Allen, who are dual threats. Or if I'm going to go down, I pick somebody with a massive arm. Like, anytime Ryan Fitzpatrick is playing football, he's in one of my lineups. Guaranteed, lock him in. Because he's going to bomb the ball downfield. You never know what's going to happen.
But he's going to bomb.
Yeah, same with Jameis. You don't care about the interceptions. The interceptions are -1 point. You're not worried about it. You want 500 yards and 4 touchdowns with 3 interceptions. Fine with me. I'll take it. I'll take that. I don't, like I said before, I don't find crazy value in quarterback just because everybody scores. Like, the lowest quarterback in a week will score 11, 12 points, and it's still 11 or 12 points. You know? So you try to find the stack. That's most important. It's really the way to go. Do you have any questions thus far?
Not really. Even though you've been talking for a long time, it's pretty simple.
It's pretty simple.
It's pretty simple the way that you've been, describing it, and the way that I've been writing it down. It's just like, like running backs. You want to look at their defense and see if they catch a lot. Other than that, fuck them. Wide receiver. A wide receiver is a wide receiver. We already know what they can do. A tight end, if it's not Kittle or Kelsey, who fucking cares? And then a defense is just it's dealer's option / whoever is playing the Eagles or Jets. It's simple as that.
There's an unnecessary shot there, but
It
Yeah,
was
he's not
super
wrong.
necessary.
Is he wrong?
Ah, am I wrong?
I plead the fifth on this one.
Uh,
It's fair. It's not football
Getting-
season. We really can't
getting-
give
getting
give too much hate.
my pleas and everything in before I have to go to court. So practicing there.
Look at that. Chalking up the losses.
Oh man, that's rude.
All right.
I have a special circumstance I want to talk to you about. You remember in week 11 last year what happened? Drew Brees got hurt.
Yeah.
Taysom Hill
Ooh.
became
The best piece of player I've ever had on fantasy football.
yes.
Yep.
Pretty much.
He was my quarterback and my tight end for 1 week.
See? I told everybody I knew. Texted everybody I know.
Slam
Played
Hill.
Taysom Hill at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
If you go back to my week 11, this is my DraftKings lineup. It did very well for me that week. Taysom Hill, I paid $4,800 for him. I always give 2 lineups. So Alex Smith, who averages 14 points per game, was 5,300. So you're getting somebody who's going to get you 70. I believe he had 100 rushing yards that game.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hill?
Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
He did.
So he already beat out Alex Smith alone, and you paid $500 less. Then I had Mike Davis, who is Christian McCaffrey, at 6,800. I had, let's see, Rex Burkhead was kind of a flop, but you don't pay for him. He's kind of just toss him in there.
Mm-hmm.
You have Will Fuller, Keenan Allen, Justin Jefferson.
Ooh.
It was a stacked lineup.
That's
But
a nice
in that case is what I want to get at. If you have a quarterback like that who doesn't really play quarterback, but there's an injury and you can pay for a quarterback for like a price of a tight end, throw him in there, forget about it, get your value everywhere else. If he gets you 10 points, you're loving it. You're absolutely loving it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see Morgan taking notes. I'm going to be honest with you. I see Jared paying attention. This kid should be taking notes as well.
I understand how I played DFS.
He understands because he loses, and
Ooh.
it's 1 and 2 half men for a reason.
I don't always lose.
Blackout. I'm just saying. I just saw you not paying attention. You watching the Phillies lose. Unnecessary again. I know, but it's just
watching Masters highlights. Actually,
how many cracks can that bell get? I wonder. You're 3 or 4. Damn.
What we'll do to see who's the better DFS guy, not against you. I see you starting to smirk up, but not against you. Between thing one and myself, we'll do a BTD bracket DFS little showdown. We'll see who's got the better lineup.
Yeah, I mean, we can do. That's what I was planning on doing next week. I was going to switch it up. Let's talk basketball because you know basketball more than I do.
I do.
But you don't know where value lies in basketball. And I'll set it up. We can all do it for free. This way there's no money involved. We do a 3-way. We can literally see who wins.
Whoever comes in last place, the 2 winners get to send a text from their phone to anybody.
The whole text.
No, stop trying to contact her. Leave her alone. Stop, please. I am asking you to stop. Please.
So Jared, you kind of figured out the basics of football.
Yes.
I've seen you in fantasy sports, mediocre at best.
That's fine.
Tell me about it.
But this is what makes everything better because it's not that you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just he
It's
does.
just,
Listen, Jared plays in very competitive league.
real.
Our league is a strong league. There's a lot of teams I see around that I'm like, how is that guy still available? Why is that guy just sitting on the free agent market?
It's just shit happens. That's it. That's
Shit
literally it. Shit happens. Shit happens to me. And shit happens to Morgan.
Shit happens to me.
You know,
I was at the bottom of the barrel for many years. It doesn't mean I don't know my stuff about fantasy sports.
Thank you.
It just happens. You get the shit end of the stick some years.
Yeah.
That's what DFS does. It allows you to play fantasy sports with a smile on your face. You're not always upset. There is that smile. That's that smile that your girl loves.
Moving on.
No, that's about it for the night, Jared. I want to cut it nice and easy. I know we've been ragging on you a little bit. You're a little upset with us.
I'm a little tired.
He's gonna go FaceTime the girl after this. So
she said she went to bed. She went to bed.
She's a teacher.
Oh, he has a special ringtone in case he needs anything.
What? No, stop.
Your body is a wonderland.
It wasn't even John Mayer. I don't have John Mayer. I don't listen to John Mayer.
Now, before we go, I just want to say, you obviously know who John Mayer is, and you obviously listened to him. But you knew that was John Mayer right away. That's all I'm going to say.
I really hope she doesn't see this episode.
He's actually in the background humming the song right now.
No, I'm not. I regret giving her a link to this. I regret.
You gave her a link to this?
I gave her
a shout-out, my friend.
Give her a shout-out.
I gave her a link to the episode.
I'm sure you're a nice lady.
Shut up.
It ain't gonna work out. I'll tell you that right now.
I want you to turn it off. I want you to disregard that message and turn it off right now.
Yeah, that was
happened. I told you that's what happened.
Morgan, close this out.
This was a lot of shenanigans in this episode. It's great. Jared has just lost all of his confidence for the rest of his life. It has been shattered. Jared might go disappear for a couple weeks again. It seems to be a theme. But hopefully Jared decides to show back up for us next week. Boys, Jared, did you have any NBA picks or anything that you wanted to share?
No,
he doesn't.
No.
All right.
I do not.
We'll get back into some picks coming up. I believe next time we film, we have a UFC fight coming up, if I'm not mistaken. It's pretty big. So we'll see if Mr. UFC himself has any picks.
Mr. UFC guy.
Ooh.
Yeah, Jared, you're the guy.
No, I'm not. I can get you a guy.
We want you to be the guy.
We have the guy. Everybody watching, listening to this, we have the guy. We have the UFC guy.
Oh no.
We got the guy.
We got the guy.
He rattles easily, but we got him.
No, you don't.
Mr. President, we got him.
We need another week. We need another week.
Boys, you guys have anything fun going on? Billy, where can I find you? What do you have going on? Anything cool?
You can find me at BillyFFD on Twitter. You can find Betting Diagonal on Twitter. My college basketball season is over. I will be giving out NHL picks primarily. Starting next week, I'm taking the week off. I lost an absurd amount of money. The last 3 rounds of the tournament, things just didn't fall my way. It is what it is. I stand by my picks. You win some, you lose some. I still have a winning record to end the year, unlike my other counterparts in college basketball. But that's neither here nor there. FFD stuff is coming out very shortly. I just finished one article. I'm working on another. That'll be published sometime next week at ffdpodcast.com. Check it out. Early access to all stuff fantasy football related. It's already around the corner. The draft is coming up. That's it. Billy FFD. I put out fire tweet before. Jared didn't like it. Kind of upset.
I didn't even see that you tweeted, but okay.
Oh, bro, come on.
Oh.
You can steal the recipe, but you can, but the sauce don't taste the same, baby. Yeah.
Hey, oh yeah, that's a good one. Ooh.
Jesus.
Oh,
Jared, what's going on with you? What do you got going on the Twitch?
Just we are taking we're taking a little vacation on the tier ranker.
I thought the girlfriend must not have liked the last one.
She disapproved of his cereal choices.
I have some personal stuff to do, and you can find all my socials, J Philly the Kid, everywhere, Twitter, Instagram. There's a Facebook page I don't do. There's a Discord server, but the only way to get that is to be in my stream and hit that command Discord, and yeah, just say hi, say betting the diagonal sent you, and you get 10% off an extremely futuristic shirt. Yeah.
Oh, the merch is coming? Hey, you dropped the merch thing. I didn't say merch is coming.
All right, so you got a special release, special preview, everybody. We have special merch coming for J Philly the Kid. Yeah, we're not saying there's merch coming, but we're not saying there's merch coming.
That's bad, right?
Yeah, Mumbles over there is never going to let it out of him. Boys, you can find me at MoWatch26 at Betting the Diagonal. We're going to have a lot. I don't do as much hockey betting, but I'll have a lot of baseball. I just put up Masters plays today for a couple. I think I have 5 or 6 that I believe have a shot at winning. I actually have another one I will be adding either tomorrow or Thursday before tee off that I like. So a little teaser. I don't know the number yet, but Xander Schauffele, if anybody is interested, Xander Schauffele so far since 2019 has the fourth lowest score to par shot on tour. So I like his chances now as well.
I like Jordan Spieth plus 15.
Start stealing my picks. I see you. I know you're stealing them. That's my first.
You can see it in the reflection.
He just little shit. Yeah, Jordan Spieth's great pick. John Rahm, dad strength, new dad. Shout out to John Rahm. I believe he's plus 1,500 as well.
Oh yeah, he just had a baby, right?
He did. I tried to tell you, dad strength.
Yeah,
Jared, lock that in. We talked about it in FFD. You remember?
Lock it in.
Lock it in. Anytime there's a brand new baby, guaranteed.
Lock it in.
John Rahm mixed the Texas Open to have the birth of his child. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl or what it is, but it's born.
Important.
Not important. He has dad strength.
He had it.
Playing in the Masters. He will not be a threat to leave the Masters early. So he is a great play. He's ranked number 3 in the world right now. He has a chance to jump up, I believe, the number. I don't think he can catch Dustin, but he can get up to number 2 with a win. Boys, this was Birth of the Degenerate, 2.5 Men. I can't wait to do this again next week with y'all. And we'll see you guys then. All right. Woo!